Chapter 13. Mitigating Circumstances. The following are mitigating circumstances. Number 1. Those mentioned in the preceding chapter when all the requisites necessary to justify or to exempt from criminal liability in the respective case or respective case or not attendant. Number 2, that the offender is under 18 years of age or over 70 years in the case, or over 80 years in the case of the minor. He shall be proceed against in accordance with the provision of the Article 80. Number 3, that the offender had no intention to commit so grave a wrong as the committed. Therefore, that sufficient provocation or threat on the part of the offended party immediate proceed in the act. Number 5, that the act committed in the immediate vindication of a grave offense to the one committing the felony, his spouse, ascendants, or relatives by affinity with the same degree. Verse 6, that of having acted upon impulse, upon an impulse so powerful as naturally to have produced passion or of obfuscation. Verse 7, that the offender had voluntarily surrender himself to a person of authority person in authority or his agent, or that he had voluntarily confessed his guilty before the court prior to the prosecution of prosecution of the evidence for the presentation prior to the presentation of the evidence in the evidence for the prosecution. Number 8, that the offender is deaf and dumb, blind, or otherwise suffering some physical defect which those restrict his means of action, defense, or commutation with his fellow beings. 9. Such illness of the offender as would diminish the exercise of the willpower of the offender with however depriving him in the consciousness of his act. Number 10, and finally, in any other circumstances of a similar nature and analogous to those above mentioned,